Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. Today we are going to be making one of my son's favorite dishes, and that is teriyaki risotto. Now, rice is great. It's delicious and versatile, lending itself well towards a teriyaki risotto. I have a teriyaki sauce that is already made. You can make your sauce from scratch, which is what I love to do, or you can buy it. It's really not that big a deal for this one. Okay, you can buy a small jar, you can make it yourself. Either way works well enough. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is preheat my pans. Now, if you wanted, so I'm doing two because I'm doing one with peas and one without peas because Rowan likes peas and Tristan does not. So Tristan's getting a pea-free version. And by that I mean the vegetable. So what we're doing is we're going to heat this up almost to medium. We don't want this too hot. If we were adding a protein, if we were adding chicken or pork or tofu, whatever you want your protein to be, we would sear that protein until it was mostly cooked, almost all the way through. Then we would remove that protein from the pan and then add our ingredients. Now, I'm not doing that today because apparently the consensus is no protein. Nobody really wants protein today, and that's fine. And I can't get my ladle. But you can definitely do a protein. Or you can use pre-chopped chicken or leftover hamburger meat, whatever. But you need at least a partially cooked protein for later in the dish. You can cook that in your pans. But to start, we need to add some fat to our pans. Now, you can use a fat of your choice. You can use margarine. You can use butter, you can use oil, you could use lard if that's what you're into, and you're going to need about a quarter cup. I know that sounds like a lot, but you're doing everything from getting your onion and your garlic powder moistened to getting that rice ready. You're doing a lot with that. So you are going to need about a quarter cup. And yes, I put a quarter cup in each pan. We're only going to focus on the one pan that has the peas going in it. So we're going to focus on the square pan. But we do have the other pan that we're paying attention to. So I'm just looking for a wooden spoon because I didn't grab one first. So we will use this one. Doesn't matter. As long as you have something to stir. Doesn't have to be a wooden spoon. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So we're just going to melt this, which is going to take a minute. Now, because this is risotto, we need to time-lapse here and there. We're not going to time-lapse quite yet, but we will time-lapse throughout. So be prepared for some time-lapsing. Well, that's melting and getting ready. You want to put some stock off to the side to boil. You're going to want about a cup of chicken stock, or vegetable stock, or beef stock, whatever complements the protein or no protein that you're using. And then add to that a cup of water. Remember, we're ignoring this pan. So I have more than that in here, but we're only focusing on this pan. I need enough for both. So you're going to have approximately 2 cups of liquid. Keep a third cup reserved. You're probably going to need it, but there's a chance you won't. Okay, so keep an extra cup reserved. So we're just going to time lapse a little bit now until our butter is melted. All right, that only took a couple minutes. Now it's not fully melted, but it doesn't matter. So you're going to see me do the same thing in both pans pretty much, but you only do them in one, okay? You only do them in one, unless you are also making a pan with peas and a pan without peas. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to either take some onion powder or some chopped onion or some chopped shallots, whatever you have. This is one of those, whatever you have, add it in. Then we're going to take garlic powder or chopped garlic, again, whatever you have. And how much? About a teaspoon of each or more. I'm doing about a teaspoon of the onion and about 2 teaspoons of the garlic. We're real fans of garlic. Okay? So we're just going to let that sit for only a few seconds. And then we are going to get 1 cup of arborio rice. Can you use other types of rices? Sure, it won't turn out the same. Okay? It will not turn out the same. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get your rice coated in your garlic, your onion, and your fat, your oil or your butter or whatever you chose to use. And we're going to toast that for a minute, okay? Because you want that rice to have a little bit of a nutty flavor. So that's why you need so much of the fat. It's got to coat your rice. If it doesn't coat your rice properly, you are not going to have a proper risotto. Okay? Okay. So we're going to let that brown just a minute. Now, my stock has boiled, so I'm just actually going to turn it off. It just has to stay hot. Okay, that's all. It just has to stay hot. So we're not going to add any other ingredients now. What we're going to do is we're going to add our stock or our water if you didn't want to use stock. Okay, and we are going to just add it, dump it all over the stove. That also is perfectly acceptable. But we are going to add it 1 scoop at a time to our rice, and we are going to let that mix without a lid. We're going to mix it up, break down that starch, and you do have to mix this fairly consistently. You don't have to mix it 100% every single second, but you need to stir this a lot because the whole point is, one, you want to break down all of the starch in these risottos, okay? So you do want them sizzling and you don't want them to run dry, okay? So before they run dry, you make sure you get more stock. And you can add more water as you need it to your pot. Okay? Add more water as needed to your pot. And we're just going to keep doing this for probably 20 to 25 minutes until the rice doesn't really want to absorb anymore. Okay, we're going to go 20 minutes, even though it'll take 25. We are going to time lapse for the next 20 minutes. And then we'll come back, and in its final stage, we are going to add more ingredients. Right now, we just want the rice to absorb the liquid, okay? That's all we're doing right now. We will come back in 20 minutes. In fact, I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. We're just going to keep adding the liquid. If you start to run out of liquid, dump some more water in there and move on with your day, okay? You can add more water. It's not a big deal. Just make sure you're keeping the rice off the sides of the pan because you do want that rice to get submerged in your water. And do make sure you're stirring with a great deal of frequency. Let's time lapse. All right, we are back. We are done adding liquid. We're going to shut our heat off, but leave them on the heat. So now we have to add more ingredients. We are going to start by adding some butter. Yes, more butter. I know. I know. Okay, you're adding about 1 tablespoon, 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. I know, more butter. But trust me, butter makes it better. Okay, butter makes it better. I promise. Okay? I promise it'll taste better if you just add the butter. So then we are going to also add some pepper. You're going to want about a teaspoon. Okay? Or to taste. If you like more, you like more. That's fine. And some salt. Again, about a teaspoon. Or to taste. Whatever works for you. Let's give that a quick mix. Remember, our heat's off. And it's looking really good. I know it still looks liquidy, but we haven't added all of our ingredients. Okay. All right. Doesn't have to be thoroughly mixed because we're adding more ingredients. So then you're going to take some teriyaki sauce and you're going to add about 4 tablespoons. Okay? Or more if you like. So I have 1 thing of teriyaki. So I'm making a mess, but you know. There we go. And then I'm just going to, whatever's left in here can go in this one. There we go. Okay. So I just had an envelope of teriyaki sitting around from whenever. I'm not sure when I had it. But we're going to mix that together. You can add more teriyaki, or if your teriyaki sauce is a little too strong for you, you can add some soy sauce to break it up. Whatever works for you. But taste before you add more, okay? Because teriyaki can have quite a strong flavor and not everyone loves it, okay? And yes, I'm doing both. Now, the next thing I'm going to add is frozen peas. Or you could add frozen broccoli. I'm not adding it to this one, only that one. But any frozen vegetable you like. You could also add a fresh vegetable. That would be fine as well. But I like to add frozen one because I have them in the freezer. And yes, I've got chunks of ice in them. They weren't well wrapped. It doesn't matter. They'll still taste delicious. Okay, and yes, you'll notice I got water everywhere. I got stock absolutely everywhere. It's because I'm brilliant. So, finish mixing this. Okay, mix this in. While you keep it on the heat, you just have the heat turned off. Okay, get these mixed in. And then we just have a couple more ingredients. We are going to add about 2 tablespoons of Parmesan. Or to taste, if you really like Parmesan, you can add some more. It's fine. If you like it, that's the way it is. It's okay to have more. And then we are going to add just a little handful, again, about 2 tablespoons of mozzarella. And again, that's going to be to taste. This just gives it a really nice, creamy consistency. Okay? Now, we are going to mix that together. Make sure the cheese is melted. And then we will move over to the counter. And we will plate some up so that we can take a look. And we're going to garnish it. And I'll show you what we'll garnish it with in just a minute. So we are going to mix this up and move over to the counter. And there we go. Teriyaki risotto that I'm garnishing with a few sesame seeds. You can also add parsley, oregano, or any herb you enjoy. But the sesame seeds really pulls it off. I hope you enjoyed making teriyaki risotto with us tonight. That will be it for us. If you enjoyed this recipe, a lot of it's to taste, I know, but if you enjoyed it, drop a comment below and let me know. We'll see you tomorrow.